It's 2025. We're already a week into it, and I'm so excited to be with you today because I have some messages from my spirit guides, the Divine Emissaries of the Third Ray, Second Octave of Love. Beautiful divine teachers who want to share some messages in how to raise your vibration and live in a much more beautiful, empowered, ascended state, how to enter the fifth dimension. My name is Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, maybe your spirit guides brought you here. I believe it's a divine appointment, so I hope you find something of value. And if you've been with me, welcome back. As you know, we are developing quite a beautiful, energetic community week by week. And this year, my spirit guides who have helped me with so much and have written so many of the 30 books that I've written, actually 32, over the past 40 years are here to be a major voice of guidance in 2025. So as we begin, they want to offer some very specific instructions on how to raise your vibration and move into this more empowered, illuminated, peaceful state. The first thing that the emissaries say and really want to share is welcome. Let your heart feel welcome, wanted, connected. Let yourself belong. One of the great injuries that keep us in a low and very depleted and very demoralizing vibration is feeling like an outsider, like we somehow aren't loved, aren't okay, aren't good enough, don't belong. There's so many iterations of this energy, and it's all an illusion. So begin this 2025 year with, I belong. I'm not here by accident. I'm not an outsider, although I may perceive life differently than others. Many of you who are part of our community are empaths, and with that, as you know and as I know, we tend, because we are so vibrationally aware and open, we tend to be inclined to absorb energy that doesn't belong to us. And right now, that energy can be very draining and toxic and help us or cause us to lose our sense of confidence. So the first message the emissaries want to share is welcome. Let yourself feel loved and wanted and treasured. Now that might be a very big stretch and just sound like some fantasy land, but consider it. Even plant the seed that no matter how I feel or what I perceive, I'm where I belong. And I have the tools and the ability and the power to create a different life experience that leaves me feeling secure, leaves me feeling loved, valuable, creative, empowered. You cannot create what you cannot imagine. So the emissaries are suggesting that we start taking the power of our imagination back. It is a superpower. And we do that by thinking about, where do I put my imagination? I know that a lot of people say I don't have much imagination, but you do. All you have to do is consider what you fear. That is a complete embodiment of imagination and can be very, very real. So if you don't think your imagination creates, just think about what your imagination is creating now. If you worry about the future, if you worry about others, you worry about the world, you're probably having a challenging experience right now. You've created that. So let's begin by imagining, first of all, recognizing your imagination is a superpower. And I do want you to think about right now, the guides are inviting you to recognize one thing in your past, entire life even, that you have wanted, and using your imagination, you have in fact created. Now, here's the interesting part of that invitation. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a good thing, but I encourage you to think of a good thing. I mean, I'm sitting here in my apartment in Paris, and there was a point in time where that seemed like a fantasy, and then one day I just decided I felt guided. It wasn't even just a conscious ego decision. It was a soul decision that I need to live here. And bam, the doors opened. Once I decided, it released an energy that put me right where I am. So think about where you've decided something in your past that actually unfolded just as you wanted it to. And it must be something. And if you can't think of anything, then maybe you haven't decided. You've wished, you've hoped, you've wanted, but you haven't decided. Now, when you combine imagination with decision, you put them together, you release a force that is your power to create. So the emissaries are saying that imagination is a superpower that you don't want hijacked anymore. I have a client who is just fabulously wealthy and powerful and has a huge company, but she spends a lot of her time watching the news. And she's terrified, frightened. Her imagination has been completely hijacked, that what she is being shown on the screen is the only reality there is. And even though her intellect says, well, there must be something else, her imagination has been hijacked. So this year, 2025, we really need to pay attention to what is controlling our imagination. Now, in the mystery schools, imagination is represented by a cup, and that cup holds content. So your imagination is a cup that is holding content. So what is it holding? Are you imagining your best self? Are you imagining intentions that you want to experience? Or has it just been overrun by everybody else's lions and tigers and bears, oh my? And you're just freaked out. So the emissaries of the third ray, and the main speaker of the emissaries, my main teacher, is Joachim. And Joachim is asking us to empty the cup of imagination of the past and start this year new and begin to be very intentional about what we want to imagine. Another way in which we imagine is, what do you dwell on? What do you dwell on? Can you dwell on something you love? Can you dwell on some creation you'd like to experience? You would like to manifest. Put that in your cup of imagination. And actually, you can even get a real cup. Maybe create an altar and put a cup up there and write down the things that you are going to create and put it in the cup to hold for you as an outer symbol of the imagination internally. So that's a very, very big message for how to begin this year, is to empty the cup of imagination of old things. I'm sick, I'm scared, I'm stuck, I'm depressed. Empty all of that. Those are old versions of you. And start with an empty cup. Another way to help you do that is just to breathe in, pull your belly to your spine, and with that intention of emptying, blow out what's the content in your mind, like you're blowing out candles. Do this 3, 4, 5 times. And when you get overwhelmed with things that you don't want to imagine, this. And another one that's really good is, just empty and come back to the heart space. The next thing we need to go into our more empowered, really natural fifth dimension frequency as a divine being that actually is a magician, is a powerhouse of creativity, not hit and miss, but consistently, is to recognize that we need to be connected to our inner guidance. That is essential. It is not optional. If our compass is only the noise in our head, we're going to get lost. We need to change the focus of our awareness from your head to your heart awareness. The emissaries say that one of the reasons we get disconnected is by entertaining rigid thoughts and rigid, harsh emotions. Now think about it. Rigid, stiff, fixed, attitudes, beliefs that are harsh, judgments about yourself or others. I had an interesting conversation with one of my beautiful clients last week, and we were talking about this because I was sharing with her, you cannot connect your intuition if you are hosting rigid, harsh, judgmental thoughts and emotions. And she said, I experienced that when I had a Christmas dinner for the family. And I had my mother, my stepfather, and his 3 sons come to dinner. These are grown men, nice enough guys. They don't spend a lot of time with them. But when I invited them to the Christmas buffet, all 3 of them just dove into the buffet, piled their plates high, didn't think about offering anything or letting the little kids go first, or had no thought for seconds, and just displayed such horrendous manners I could barely enjoy myself. So angry and trying to be pleasant because the way they conducted themselves, I felt, was positively reprehensible. And I said, well, that's interesting because I don't perceive it that way. They were hungry, they were enthusiastic, they felt welcome, they were invited to partake, they were not self-conscious about it. They were enjoying it. It certainly was an abundant table, so they didn't feel that they had to hold back, and they trusted the invitation. So they didn't get the memo that you had some unspoken expectations of how they were to behave. So they just behaved the way they were naturally. And she said, you're right. I just sat there in judgment the entire time. And I said, okay, well, that disconnected you from having a good Christmas experience with these people. Did anybody not get enough food? She said, no, there was plenty left over. In fact, they took it home with them, which also angered me and pissed me off. And I really at that point said, the universe is going to help us this year. And the emissaries are certainly saying that whatever is holding you back is going to be amplified in your face. So what is ever really bugging you, or if you have these experiences like she did of like, oh my God, it's bad, worse, I can't believe it. It's not what's happening out here. It's the rigid and harsh judgments that you're holding that are preventing you from being in your heart, feeling connected, feeling guided, feeling loved, feeling abundant. It was interesting with her because I said, one of your primary goals in your life, and why one of the reasons you're mentoring with me is to create abundance. And yet you did create an abundant buffet, but then you wanted to withhold it, and you were not feeling abundant in sharing it. You were feeling as though some of them took too much, there wasn't enough. Who knows what you were feeling, but it certainly was not the feeling that there is enough. Please, everyone, enjoy. So she laughed about that, and she said, that is sort of a secret self that I have, is I have abundant. I want to be abundant, and my imagination wants to be abundant, but at the same time, I imagine there is a way to behave that everybody should follow. And those are my rules. Those are my conduct, my moral conduct. And it really does leave me feeling like somebody took something from me, which is the opposite of abundance. So the emissaries are saying, empty that cup of imagination and imagine that whatever it is you want is who you are. It's what you have. It's what you can share. And there's plenty, an endless supply of that. And then secondly, check for harsh emotions. Check for harsh emotions. I know that the one I have, because we have dominant harsh emotions or harsh thoughts, sort of our default go-to when we're not in a good energy. And mine is impatience. I have this spirit that wants to hit the ground running every day, and the emissaries tell me it's fear, that I just barrel through every day and feel sometimes I'm fearless is not being fearless. In fact, I know that if I do fear something, I'll jump into it instead of run away from it, which is a bit of a different characteristic. And I do feel like there is value to being intentional and being able to move forward. But if I'm impatient and harsh and irritated by others who don't move quite as fast as me, then I have a fear that they're going to hold me back. And sometimes it can even turn to anger. I can be real pissy. I can be really not very nice. Just little, it won't be overt. There'll be little cutting like, can we go? Can you please hurry up? It's not a good look on me. And that is the thing I'm going to work on removing. But we all have one. It might be that we run for the victim mode. Why are you doing this to me? Or we run to the exhausted state. I am so tired. The world is tiring me. These rigid thoughts and emotions block us out of the fifth dimension. And we just want to focus on and identify which ones they are. Teacher guides are saying if we can remove these and go to neutral or soften. And the way you do that is through breathing. Soften. Feel the fear. Recognize what is hijacking your imagination, what you're telling yourself. Like my client who had the I call them the buffet bandits, robbing her Christmas buffet, when in fact they were just having a good time. We have to look at, this is cutting me off and throwing me into a lower vibration and creating for me a terrible experience. Me all by myself. So breathe, empty, be curious. Don't be judgmental. That's a harsh vibration, and a harsh judgment toward yourself is no improvement. Just say, I'm afraid, or I'm irritated. My imagination is telling me I'm going to be diminished somehow. My imagination is taunting me or frightening me. And just empty that. Think about emptying that cup. In fact, you can get a cup of water and you can empty it if it helps, because when we do outer things, our inner self gets the memo. And then we soften, because that opens the door of the heart of guidance, so that you're not stuck in your head like a hamster on a wheel trying to figure things out. You are guided. And not guided like a GPS that's saying this, and this. You know how you're guided? If you've ever gone to an amusement park, some of the rides are like little cars on rails. So you get in and the little car starts going. You just kind of go with it. You go on the track. When you start working with higher vibration, you get on a guided track. And you know what's good about that? You don't have to think very much. You actually get to experience the ride. You experience the unfolding of things. And in a way, just like when you go to the amusement park, this is going to be good. I signed up for this. It's going to be good. And it's going to be fun and entertaining and empowered. So these are a couple things. One, your imagination is a superpower, but it is a cup that holds things. You have to empty it. Two, you want to check those habitual harsh emotions and thoughts that you carry around that sort of tell you this is the reality that everybody should adhere to. And if you don't, then something's wrong. And identify them, put them in the comments. What are the habitual perceptions? They're like filters that keep me from being available to guidance. And then recognize the more neutral and soften I am, the more I soften and I'm neutral and I'm open, the more guided I will be, and guided in a way that will reveal to me what my mind does not know. Your guides, your spirit guides, your teachers will start giving you ideas, direction, solutions to abundance, to connection, to love. But you have to remove the filters. We all do. And this year, as we move into 2025, that is the most important assignment. The emissaries say they're going to guide us this year, but in bite sizes, because too much information is just an overload. We'll lose it. We can't keep up. We change in bite sizes. So this week, the bite sizes are, see your imagination as a cup, and what are you holding in there? Is it a poisonous potion of misery? And are you dwelling and focused on awful things? Are you scaring yourself to death and saying that's reality? Are you hypnotized by conversations and channels like the news that just keep reiterating that you're screwed? So empty Go neutral. Have it be empty. And then, secondly, soften. Soften the harsh emotions and thoughts. If you're rigid, you can't connect to your intuition, your guidance, your spirit guides, your higher self, your spirit teachers. You won't feel it. You're unplugged. So when you soften and go neutral, just empty. Just practice whatever's in your mind that's tormenting you. Say, okay, well, that's not leaving me feeling very good. I'm going to exhale it. I'm going to empty it. And then let the focus of your awareness be a listening focus, not to your head, which is noisy and disturbing, but listening to the vibrations in your heart. And to raise the vibrations of your heart, there are two other things the emissaries want to share with you this week. One is to start feeding your spirit with beauty. Beautiful music, beautiful flowers, beauty in nature, beautiful food, beautiful art. Like, it is a fuel to enter the fifth dimension. Beauty is a superfood for entering the fifth dimension. And if we focus and dwell on beauty, art opens an incredible channel in us. Even if you think, well, I don't have time for art, you can. Watch documentaries that are beautiful, like on planet Earth or on the ocean, things that are really mysterious and beautiful. Pull us up and out of the third dimension and will put us in a higher frequency. And you will become immediately more empowered. One of my clients took this advice when I gave it to her earlier, a couple years ago. She changed the news for beautiful music and beautiful documentaries, and then she started painting. Within a very short period of time, she got the awareness, she received the awareness that she really loves environments and creating beautiful, beautiful homes, went on to become an interior designer, and now is writing her first book on creating a gorgeous and beautiful home vibration. None of that was what she did before. She worked in an insurance office. Now, she was in the part of the home that was disaster, filing insurance claims with disaster. And she just arced over to creating beautiful homes, which is where she really found her contentment. So she got in the field, but in the wrong department, over to the beautiful. So I'm not going to overload you, but this is what I want you to start the year with. This is what the emissaries of the third ray are suggesting to all of us. Empty your imaginations, soften your emotions, and don't be rigid. Recognize where they are rigid and soften, because it's cutting you off. Dive into the body. Listen for the frequency that is like the track that's right for you, the track of truth for you. Where is it pulling you? And don't fight it. If it says check out music or learn to write or be a photographer or go in nature, let's change the food and start eating beautiful food. Whatever these subtle prompts are, they're the door to your empowered and abundant state. And then finally, feed yourself with beauty. Like, seriously, what are you feeding your spirit? Put into my notes, into the comments below, what are you feeding yourself with? If you do this for 21 days, your life will already change. 21 days of changing the frequency, you'll elevate up very quickly, and some very good things you want to happen will start to happen because you've removed the obstacles. You've emptied the imagination so new things can come in. You've cleared the gateway to the higher dimensions. You've opened the frequency to inner guidance, and you've put yourself in a state of mind to receive the direction to create the kind of healing and connection and joy and abundance you want. 21 days of this practice, and you will have a dramatic shift in your life. But you have to be consistent. You have to be committed. Just like when you think of the things you've created in the past, came from an emotional commitment. It came from a commitment. An imagination meets decision is commitment. So let's go into the new year fully intending to live in the fifth dimension. Thank you to the emissaries of the third ray. Thank you to Joachim. And now these are the instructions and the messages. And mostly they say, welcome. Feel welcome in this universe. Feel welcome in your body. Feel welcomed and loved by the forces of love and light around you. Your mind in your imagination might deny that, but it isn't because it's true. It's because you are hijacked. Feel loved and welcomed. Feel secure. Feel available. Good things are coming. Very good things are coming. Very good things are here. If you will soften, empty, and imagine, which are the superpowers that'll bring these new experiences in. 2025 is the year of emptying and bringing in the new. We're going to enter the third dimension. We're going to enter the fifth dimension. We are going to connect with the emissaries. We're going to learn to channel, and we're going to learn to manifest, and we're going to learn to do it having a very good time. Thanks for tuning in. If you love this, if you got something from it, please first put it in the comments and share, because your experiences also add a lot to the community. And secondly, thumbs up if you liked it, and better yet, if you're new and haven't yet, subscribe. We're going to have a fantastic year, and we are going to go to the fifth dimension, enter it together. All my love.